Hey everybody, this is your boy from Sorry I Didn't Come With a Filter podcast, and I Didn't Come With a Filter YouTube channel. How's everybody doing on this wonderful Monday? Wonderful fin Monday. Look what the fuck happened here. I can't even start to explain what happened on the weekend whatsoever. It was just one upset after another this past weekend to me. I thought I picked the Chargers on one of my things, so let me go dive into the NFL right now here and quick. So the Texans beat up on the Tennessee Titans. That was what we all did not expect. We all expected Tennessee to be, beating up on the Houston Texans, but didn't plan out that way. And then the Ravens and the Bears, that was another tightly contested game. The Bears gave it to them, and, Ravens pulled it out. So it was a very low-scoring game. The one that I was a little shocked with, one of many, was the Eagles versus the Saints. So, the Eagles pulled out a victory over the Saints. The Saints were on such a hot roll. They were, starting to do, maneuver to the, bounds and bounds of, I can't even, I don't know, I'm lost for words on that one. Then you got the Colts versus the Bills. See, now, this is what I was saying. It was one of those games during the weekend that you had to watch. Were the Bills going to win or lose? I was hoping the Bills were going to win. But the Colts pulled it out. The Colts pulled it out and shot them down like there's no tomorrow. So it looks like, the Colts are starting to turn that page. And sadly enough, Bills have been bumped out of the AFC division they're in. And it's now the New England Patriots. The New England Patriots are a team that you're going to have to fear when it comes to this right now. Browns and Lions that was not a shocker. Green Bay versus Vikings was a really, really tough game, but good game. But big bad man, Aaron Rodgers, he lost. But again, he's 8-3, so they're still going to make the playoffs somehow. You had the 49ers beating up on the Jaguars like I knew it was going to happen. The Bengals beat up on the Raiders. The Cardinals are 2-1 without Kyler Murray. So that's saying something there. That is saying something. The poor Seahawks, they're just, they're a crapshoot and a hand grenade away from just being blown up to bits. And then you go to the Chargers and Steelers. That was a good Sunday nighter game. But the one I wanted to save was the Chiefs and Cowboys. Okay, y'all probably heard enough about how the Cowboys got stalemated and they were ranked number one in most offensive points given and all that. And yet the Chiefs pulled it out. The Chiefs pulled out a victory on the Cowboys. The Cowboys. So to put it in the perspective, Cowboys are going to win their division. The thing this is how kind of hard it's to explain on my behalf because I'm still trying to get more into the NFL, as I say. The NFC East is now all Cowboys. But there's no Amari Cooper for 10 days. He's out. He's unvaccinated. He's out. He's out. They have a lot of injuries up front right now. Dak and Ezekiel. Ezekiel is getting the ball, but he's not getting the yardage of he's just not getting there. He's just not earning those runs and stuff. But as I say, now you're into week 12 of the season because we're closing out tonight. We got the Buccaneers versus the Giants. I'm hoping a turnaround for the Buccaneers that can win. Just kind of moving a little forward to the Buccaneers, right, or to week 12. Happy Thanksgiving down there, by the way, to you guys on Wednesday or Thursday. Sorry, my bad. I'm all messed up. So you have the Bears versus the Lions. You got the Raiders versus the Cowboys. That's going to be a tricky one. And then you got the Saints and the Bills. My thing is, on just those two games alone coming into this week, is putting in the playoffs. The playoffs are going to become very, very tight. It's going to be a tight contest for this now. It's just looking more and more like other teams are starting to fight their way up into the standings. And to take away from these teams, I'm not going to take anything away because, they have every right to be there. So I'm going to say it right now, the NFC West, the Seahawks are eliminated. To me, they're eliminated. There's just no chance of them making the playoffs. The Niners are 5-5. There might be a slim chance, but I'm not 100% on that. But the Cardinals and the Rams for sure make the playoffs. When you go to the NFC South, the Buccaneers are going to make the playoffs, of course. The Saints and the Panthers are going to be fighting it out for that second spot. Again, in the NFC North, you have the Packers who are going to just basically run away with it because the Lions are out, the Bears are out, so it's going to be the Vikings moving in on that second spot. And then again, to the east of the NFC, you got the Cowboys on top there. They're going to take that. The Eagles are on a 2-game winning streak. So are the Washington team. But again, it's, Washington's out. Or New York Giants are out. That's how I could say that. AFC East, Patriots are on top. Bills are on second. So, I'm going to already say it. Dolphins are 4-7, but still a slim chance of them making the playoffs, but I can't say 100% on that. It's a slim call on that one. The Jets are out. Okay, they're out. You go look at the NFC North. It's really tightly kind of contested for the second spot there because you got the Bengals 6-4, you got the Browns 6-5, you got the Steelers 5-4-1. So it's like, but the three teams, the Bengals and the Browns have both won. Steelers are on a 2-game losing streak right now, so anything can happen there. AFC South is pretty much the Titans and the Colts. The Texans and the Jaguars, done. And then you got the AFC West. Chiefs are up there. The Chargers are up there. But then again, you got the two dark horse teams in the Broncos and the Raiders that could possibly change something. But again, to go over to the games in Week 12, now we're what, 6 weeks away? Okay, yeah, we're 6 weeks away from the final of this entire NFL season. To tell you the honest truth, it's starting to build around the tensions are starting to get there. Are some of these teams going to have healthy enough players for them? I couldn't tell you. It's not something I would even bet money on because it's now becoming not just any given Sunday, any given time and point in any game, something can turn and just switch. So that's my take on the NFL today. It's just like everything is just what the fuck just happened. This, it kind of blew up. But I did win money on my fantasy football, so I'm happy. Not very much, but it's still change. So Friday, my team won against the Jets 3-2. Avalanche beat the Kraken 7-3. And then you go over to Saturday, again, postponement. So the Devils beat the Lightning. Hurricanes beat the Kings. The Panthers beat the Wild. Canadians, surprisingly enough, beat the Predators. That surprised me. Bruins beat the Flyers. Flames beat the Islanders. Penguins beat, again, 2-0. Not such a bad score against the Maple Leafs. The Oats found a third win this year, so they beat the Red Wings. The Stars beat the Blues. Golden Knights beat the Blue Jackets. The Oilers, of course, beat the Blackhawks. And the Capitals beat the Sharks, like I was predicting. So that's my prediction on that one. On Saturday's games. Sunday's games were, I didn't make really any predictions. So the Rangers beat the Sabres. Flames beat the Bruins. Leafs beat the Islanders. Capitals lost to the Kraken. And the Oats found another victory. So they're 4-13-2. As we move forward, I think there was nope. Oh, and the Lightning and the Wild. Lightning over the Wild 5-4. Last night's hockey game with the Canucks. Yes, I'm going to talk about my Canucks. It was actually a very good game. They killed off all the penalties. So their penalty kill is starting to be there. They didn't give up a goal. It was just Fleury doing Fleury things. Marc-Andre Fleury, he is a hell of a good goalie. Don't ever kid yourself. This man is a fantastic goalie. He is a superior goalie. He is good at what he does. He's hard-nosed. He's tough. I understand, at the beginning of him going to Chicago, he didn't really want to be in Chicago, but he just kind of embodied the Chicago. And that's all right. Embody it. Do whatever. It's cool. For him to just go out on a limb, to go join a new team, after winning cups, going from winning cups in Pittsburgh to going to the verge of, winning a cup with a new team that just came into the NHL. And then, Robin Lehner started becoming this bigger and bigger. And I congrats on Robin Lehner and all of his stuff that he's accomplished in his career too. But then getting traded because of the cap issue to Chicago, and then kind of not wanting to go to Chicago, and then just saying, okay, I'm going to embrace change. Good on Fleury. Because he's showing people, especially at the time Chicago is going through so much crap. So, good on him, and I'm happy. And just, he's one of those elite goalies that people just never, ever, ever expected to be that good. So kudos to him. But again, last night's game was the Canucks were getting these chances, and they were getting chances like there's no tomorrow. But the thing was, Fleury was doing the Fleury thing, and the puck kept hitting the posts and stuff. But again, all these opportunities, all these chances they're creating is good. It's still a positive. It's not a negative. It's a positive outlook. So on that, again, we are not going to constantly, see a lot of that if fans are always going to jump down their throats and say, these stupid things and fire this person and trade that person. And, those are fans that are not real fans of the team. I am a real fan. Don't get me wrong. Like, as you can see, I have my Canuck. My place has, Canuck galore, okay? I am just Canucked out. I love my Canucks. I even have 3 backpacks with Canucks on it. I love my Canucks. That's how much of a diehard fan I am. I literally live for Canucks. Canucks everywhere. Everywhere is Canucks for me. It's my thing in life. I love my team. But again, to move forward here, I'm going to do some predictions today on the NHL. So, Sabres versus Blue Jackets. I would say Blue Jackets. Knights versus Blues. Go Knights. Ducks versus Predators. I'm taking the Ducks. Jets versus Penguins. That's a tough one because, anything can happen when you're in Winnipeg. So, I'm picking the Peg for this one. Senators versus the Avalanche. Doesn't look like it's postponed, so they're playing. So they're going to make up those 3 games that they did postpone the Senators and a later date, so that's all right. That's cool. I'm going to go with the Avalanche. Hurricanes versus Sharks. I'm going to go with the Hurricanes on that front. So that is my take for today of my predictions. As stand forward on everything else, I did watch Survivor Series. Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair was a really good one. The Usos versus Team RK Bro was another good one. I did finally watch the main event, which was Big E and Roman Reigns. That right there was a very good match. I didn't think, because, all these releases, I wasn't going to watch WWE product, but, I kind of go back on my shit and I watch it because it's a pay-per-view and I enjoy watching them. So that's my thing. On top of all that, I don't really appreciate that WWE is just kicking people to the curb. Like, that just sucks. I see Kenny Omega just vacated the AAA Mega Championship, which is like their world championship. He's out for a while. He's dealing with a lot of injuries and stuff. And he, I understand he's like a workhorse down there and shit in AEW. So, AAA is going to have their probably tournament for to crown their next champ. I cannot wait for NXT 2.0 tomorrow and Dynamite. Raw, not so much, because now we kind of just know what's going on. You still have Seth Rollins with the contract for a WWE shot contract at that championship. So, one way or another, I don't think they have a pay-per-view coming up this December. I'm pretty sure of that. It's 100% sure. So, I'm guessing this contract's going to be like at Royal Rumble, their next pay-per-view in the new year. So, I guess they're going to try to build things. I don't know. I have funny feelings there's going to be a lot of things going on in the pro wrestling world in the next few months here. We're going to probably see some guys like, who was it that Jonah, a.k.a. Bronson Reed, showed up at Impact and New Japan. So he's one of the hottest free agents out there. And then you got Braun Strowman doing something. You got Bray Wyatt shooting a movie or something. You got all that other stuff going on. So, like, really trying to follow in the wrestling world right now is kind of really confusing to me. It's really hard to even understand what's going on, because I would be so hard up on this, but now I've kind of like, because COVID kind of just broke me from wrestling, like just broke me down and beat the piss out of me on it, that I'm so not into like the whole wrestling aspect as much, but I do enjoy it here and there. It's like I went from being a hardcore fan to now a, casual fan of sorts. But I am actually enjoying my hockey again. I'm enjoying the NBA. I should probably say something about the NBA. I'm not going to leave them out, because I do love my NBA. So let's go over to the NBA, y'all. Let's see what's up with that, because I'm pretty much done with everything that's going on in the pro wrestling world. It's just, it's annoying. It is, to me. It's a freaking annoyance. So, I did hear about the big brawl that happened with LeBron and Detroit, and it seems like anytime anybody goes to Detroit, they all fight there or something. It's crazy. So, Friday, recap Friday on that one, was the Warriors over the Pistons, 105-102. Hornets over the Pacers, 112-118. I do see some teams starting to turn around here, though. Like, I just give you a little quick rehash. Raptors did beat up on the Sacramento Kings. That's not a surprise. I'm looking at some of these standings. Like, yeah, the Rockets are going to be the worst team in the league. I can probably say that as far as I could throw anything. So they're probably going to be that worst team in the league, starting pretty much at the beginning. Last night's games, the Clippers versus the Mavs, the Lake Show versus the Pistons was an entertaining one, even with the fight. Caught the highlights. That was a freaking mess of a fight. I'm loving the Bulls right now. I'm still loving the Bulls. The Warriors and the Raptors. Even though the Raptors are 8-10, They still held their own against the Warriors. Like, this team is going to do something big this season. I can tell you that. But tonight, my predictions for the NBA is the Nets over Cavaliers. I did hear something about Cavaliers. One of their star players is out for the season. Hornets versus Wizards. I would say Wizards, even though I do like the Hornets, but I'm going to go with the Wizards on this one. Thunder versus the Hawks. The Hawks and Trae Young are just going to steamroll the hell out of them. If the Celtics lose to the worst team in the league, I don't know what's going to happen there. I cannot say anything on that end. So I hope the Celtics beat the Rockets tonight. Timberwolves versus the Pelicans. I would say Timberwolves. Bulls over the Pacers at any given chance. The Bucks are starting to turn around. The Milwaukee Bucks are turning. They're turning that page. They're turning that corner. So they're going there. They're going over the Magic. Spurs versus the Suns. I'll say the Suns. Suns are starting to get healthy. They're starting to produce more. Jazz over the Grizzlies. And the 76ers over the Kings. That's my picks for tonight. Going into these standings, if I go into the NHL standings, because I'm going to go back to the NHL right now. The Atlantic Division, I don't think right now, currently, there's no need for the Canucks to even push the panic button. Okay, we're 6-11, so we got 14 points. What's separating us is 5 points from being in fourth. So we're not, we're four. We got 7 or 8 points. So if they can scrap together some points here, and it's the Knights that are there. So again, it's early in the season. So the Ducks are, doing really, really well. So are the Kings. So are the Sharks. Here's the funny thing. You got the second half of the season beginning after December in the new year. So what is going to happen? Nobody knows. So I don't understand why everybody here in Vancouver is pushing the panic button. Don't push the panic button. Don't. Just don't. Because it's not necessary. Currently, right now, it's not a necessity to push any buttons. I don't see it. I don't see anything that needs to happen. Chicago's 6-10, and they fired their head coach, and they got a new head coach. Yeah, so what? You're still dealing with drama behind the scenes. A lot of people are calling for heads. I can't say that with the NHL being where it is. Most teams are at 20 games. Most teams are below 20 games. But it's an early season. You got 82 games. So, my Canucks where are they? Let's see how many games they played. They played 19. So, I'm not good at math. So, you guys can just hold your freaking asses on that. They have 63 games left. So, you got 63 games. And you're playing an 82-game season, you can still make the playoffs. You don't need to call for change. Right now, it's not a panic, do or die. Even though they didn't pack in any points, it's not a do or die situation. Same as if you go into the NBA. So your top team in the East is Chicago, then the Nets, then the Wizards, then the Heat, then the Hornets, then the Cavaliers, then the Knicks, Celtics, Bucks are in 9th. 76ers are in 10th. 11th place Hawks, 12th place Raptors. So you have 4 teams I just said that could easily jump into those standings at any given point of the season. First half of the season, yes, it's new players, adjustments, injuries, people coming off the injuries. So, relax. The Warriors, they're sitting nice and tidy up in the first spot in the West. The Suns are up in the second spot. Jazz are in the third. Clippers are in the fourth. Mavericks are in the fifth. Nuggets are in the 6th, Trailblazers are in the 7th spot, and the Lake Show is in the 8th spot. Okay, again, you got the second half of the season. Again, early season games. Correct me if I'm wrong, 9-9 is 18 games. They still have an entire next half of the season, any of these could easily change. Lakers could go from 8th spot to, say, the 3rd spot. It is a ridiculous amount of change. I will tell you this. It will change. Anything will change at any given moment. Hell, you have the Nuggets, who could be in the 6th spot, could drop down to 8th spot, and the Lakers could have the 6th spot. Who knows? Nobody knows. It's still early in the season. It's always going to be early in the season. I just don't like when I see people pushing the panic button, to trade, to fire. Don't do that, because that just messes up all the morale in the locker room. It's a bad thing. But I will be back tomorrow with my predictions, see if they're right or wrong, give you more insight on some more of a why you shouldn't do this. Y'all have a great Monday. I will talk to you guys all tomorrow.